Okay, so overall, okay, actually, first start off with, if you would, like, what was, and you don't have to mention names, but what was the original situation as to why you called me?
The original situation was I felt I had been greatly taken advantage of by somebody who I had deeply cared about at one time, and it was in a financial aspect, and it was just a constant distractor in my life after that. Something that literally I had physical feelings from, made me sick to my stomach,
Ouch.
constantly entering my mind, preventing me from focusing. And being productive with other things in my life, and fully enjoying things that I enjoyed, and concentrating on things at school and work.
So when I had talked to you the first time, so it seemed like your life came to a standstill almost. Would that be
Yeah, I
correct?
mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, there were times when I could kind of, it's like take two steps forward, a step back kind of
Yeah.
thing. You kind of make only for me, it was sometimes one step forward, two steps back, or whatever. I mean, it was just, I would kind of be in a fairly good place, and then all of a sudden I'd fall back again.
Yeah. And I also know that, like you just mentioned a few moments ago, but it was really attacking your body. Like, you're just like the stomach mostly, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it just that sick, stinking feeling in the stomach, just kind of that knot, I guess, more in the stomach.
Okay. And you couldn't really concentrate and focus too much because it was so,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You've come a long way. You've
Oh,
come
I
not a,
have.
right?
You know, I mean, I mean, and going through those array emotions of being pissed off, angry with someone else,
Yeah.
angry with myself, and you just kind of go through the gamut of all these emotions.
But so yeah, so it affected you. You couldn't concentrate. Your stomach was in bad shape, um, and you just had a hard time moving forward. So overall, from there and the three sessions that we had up until now, what do you think's changed and how have you shifted?
Um, you know, the thoughts aren't, that the thoughts of what happened don't come into my mind nearly as often.
Yeah.
And when they do, it doesn't affect me in the way that it did. It doesn't prevent me from doing what I'm doing. The thoughts quickly dissipate. I can quickly move on and refocus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't continually nag at me. I don't have the physical feeling in my stomach anymore.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
I mean, it's one of those things that I feel like I'm learning well on my way to just letting go, you know,
So
from it and moving on.
yeah, because what you had, I'm not going to go too much detail on this one, but what you had, I mean, it was a strong sense of, like you said, being taken advantage of because there was a lot of money
Yeah.
involved in the situation, right? So and from that first session we had, it was pretty intense, right? We had a lot of feelings coming up and
It was,
emotions coming
yeah.
up, right?
Yeah, and even other situations.
With others, yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. But note,
Which was a huge surprise for me. It just was like
that's
out
what
of
it
the
was.
blue. It's like, wow, okay, that's still affecting me. Wow.
Isn't that neat,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's cool because that's something consciously that you wouldn't have thought about, right? That
No,
you know,
uh-uh.
which lets us know it actually came from deep inside your subconscious that was still
Mhm.
kind of lingering. Okay, so that first session was pretty intense, but how did you feel during that first session? Did you ever feel like you couldn't do it, or did you feel like what, I can do this? It's working. I'm moving forward.
No, I feel like I could do it, and it was working, but it was hard. I mean,
Yeah,
it's hard, but
yeah,
at the same time, and yet I knew it wouldn't be easy.
yeah,
And so it's one of those, you I had to be determined to to get that end result, and be
that's
able to kind of heal from this.
you had a good drive and determination. And what I liked about working with you is that you were so willing, right? You had enough of the pain. You were so willing to listen and just go through whatever you needed to go through this. Because sometimes I get clients and they expect me to fix them, right? Maybe wave a magic wand, bop them on the head, and all of a sudden they're great. But it doesn't work that way. Sometimes the only way out is through, and you did such an amazing job. So I want to commend you on that. By the second session, a week later, by that session, did you notice how quick we actually moved through emotions and feelings?
Yeah,
Right? I think that session was only like 40 minutes.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Oh yeah, it was much quicker, but I think it helped putting in that extra time on the first one to
Yeah.
get there. It was exhausting. That
Yeah.
first one was just, it was very exhausting, but I think it was worth it just to, I think that helped then the subsequent ones be a lot quicker.
Nice. Yeah, but heck, by the third session, I think we just moved through feelings and it's so quick it didn't even phase you, right? Which is
But that's
something.
what,
Go ahead.
I like about it now is I think I can do some of that thinking and that way of looking at things
Yeah.
a little bit more now on my own. I mean, I've always been trying to be somebody that kind of flips stuff around and go, well, yeah, but let's look at it from this perspective. And I do that with others, and I think I'm learning to do that with myself
Yeah.
now instead of just with anybody else. So,
So that's actually a good point. So would you feel like, in some ways, you've been empowered by this and knowing that you can move through things?
oh, absolutely. I like that positive thinking, and then where I can, stop myself and go. I mean, just like we talked about a minute ago, with like the eating,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my gosh, I've had so much sugar the last couple of days, and now I can go, okay, but that's okay because I can move on from this. Now, how am I going to productively, effectively, turn this into a positive and then move on and not continue down that path of, pork eating or whatever,
Yeah, I think that's key because a lot of people get, they'll trip, quote, untrip, on their path, and then they get stuck in it, and they can't get out of it. Like they'll go on a diet or something, they'll eat something bad, and like, oh no, what the heck? I'll just eat everything else. Why not, right? But
Right.
it seems like you're tripping, but you're standing up right away, right? So you can
Right.
come back and focus.
And with the original situation, I'm starting to realize, you know what? I'm the better person, the bigger person for being able to just, you know what? I'm not going to let this slow me down.
Nice, nice. That's such a quick turnaround because that first session, you know, there were a lot of emotions, right, and it was a bit intense, like as you said. So by the third session again, by the third session, it was so easy. That's the session that we recorded. It was so easy to work with you. I think a couple feelings came up, but we tapped one or two rounds, and all of a sudden you
Yeah.
just moved, right? Was that kind of surprising for you, or was that nice for you to know that you could move through it
Well,
quicker?
yeah. Well, even after the first one, I thought, oh God, what else is going to come up?
Yeah.
I know what I was thinking. Going, oh geez, who knows?
Yeah. Right. Wow. Very good. So, do you want to? Is there anything that you might want to say about the whole the process and the program? Maybe some closing thoughts on it.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say it's not what I expected because I honestly didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I really didn't, and the fact that I think of people who spend sometimes years in like
Yeah.
therapy,
Right.
you know what I mean, and don't ever really seem to get anywhere. I mean I am surprised that it really was this quick,
Yeah.
that I feel so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, I need to make, let other people know about, these options when it's, when they're struggling.
Let me ask you this question: how did it feel? Because some people have a reservation about working on Skype, right? Because it's not live, face to face. How did that
Right.
feel like working on Skype?
Um, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of even taking classes online and stuff, but it was fine. And I think what helps is a lot of it is just so much listening, though.
Yeah.
In this process, I mean, it was doing a whole lot of listening, and a lot of it just kind of closing my eyes. So in a way, I think it's almost better because I'm more comfortable in my own home. I mean, I'm just laying on my own bed.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes that helps me relax a lot because I'm in my own environment.
Right.
If I were to go to you in an office, now I'm in your environment and not mine.
Yeah.
So there's definite pluses once you kind of get around, get used to the whole,
Yeah. So
being online.
yeah. So that was
But
the weird stuff about it, right? Being online.
yeah, but then when you really reflect back on it, I can see that there's some definite benefits to it.
Yeah. 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 And again, it's because you're in the comfort of your own home,
Yeah,
right?
I have my home at my own temperature that I like. I mean, I'm laying, go to a doctor's office and you freeze or whatever. I mean, I'm in my own. It's a lot more comfortable here.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Okay, so initially, it's just the first initial idea of, wow, this is kind of weird. I'm doing it on the
yeah,
computer, right? And then get
yeah,
past.
yeah. Once you get past it, that was fine. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. Okay, good. Wow, I think that's good. And I think, and again, it was a relatively short time because from the time we met to the time we're doing this video, it's been 3 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
something like that.
And again, like you'd mentioned, sometimes traditional therapy, I should say, might take a lot longer. It can still be
Yeah.
effective, but it just takes a lot longer. And this
Well,
kind
I
of,
think of my mom, who's my sister committed suicide about two
oh
years
no,
ago. I think she's been in therapy ever since.
wow,
And she's still, I realized just this weekend, she had mentioned she can't go to sleep without the TV on. She keeps the TV on all night. She doesn't like the silence. So she's obviously not really healed
yeah,
and moving on from that.
okay, wow. And
So,
but you do feel like you're moving forward with the things that happened to you.
well, I do. I feel a lot better, and so I'm wondering if something like this wouldn't benefit my mom too, because sometimes
Definitely.
we see somebody on the outside, we think that they're doing okay,
Yeah.
and then you really come to find out they're not inside doing well.
Yeah. So thank you very much, right? And keep me up to date, would you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and I'll just you know have mom email you.